Hey everyone, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host Khalid Moeddin. This is the show where we talk about everything that happened in the first T20I between Pakistan and South Africa. You can see I'm a bit dejected today because I feel that it was a really poor bowling performance towards the end from South Africa, particularly the last, I feel, 3 overs didn't go as planned, as we thought it would. That is the problem. I feel that when we were at 15.2 overs and we had about 130 odd runs on the board, Pakistan had 130 odd runs on the board, at that point we should be able to get our death bowlers to finish off a game. Particularly the performances by Bjorn Hendricks, I felt, and Sasanda Magala. Bjorn Hendricks first up, I'm going to talk about. He bowled very well until that point. And 4 full tosses in a row, that is unacceptable for any bowler, I think, in this international game. So I'm going to be very harsh with regards to that. Then obviously going for over 16 runs in that over. And then we had Sasanda Magala, who went for about 11 runs in his over. And then a decent actual over from Lazard Williams to finishing off, taking a wicket in that with a beautiful Yorker, I must say. But then unfortunately a drop catch and an overthrow, Pakistan ended up winning the game, and it was quite close. The game should have never been taken away from us as the way it did. It was poor bowling that got us into that situation. I don't think it was necessarily Pakistan altogether batting beautifully. Yes, they did. Yes, some of the batsmen did perform. But ultimately, I feel it was bad fielding from South Africa. Generally in the field, we were a bit sloppy. And as well as bad bowling that got us into the situation of 4-wicket defeat in our first game. But I'm not going to do all the talking. Before we get going, before I bring my guests on the show, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click on that notification bell for all future videos, please. I'm not in my usual space, as you can see, as I normally am. I had something very interesting happen today. One of my friends, his wife is giving birth soon, so they had a nappy braai for one of my friends, so it's for him, which is quite interesting. So all of us had to bring nappies and buy nappies, basically, and then we had a little braai or barbecue for the guys from overseas for one of our closest friends that I haven't seen actually in a long time. We got one of my friends actually with South. I mean, he is in the description as well. So he's saying, why is the world different? And I just explained now. So let's bring him Paul into the stream. Let's bring a teacher onto the show. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you doing?
Good. I'm a little bit also dejected like you. I don't know how to place this performance, but I'm okay. Aditya, why aren't you watching IPL, dude? What's going on?
I do. I have it here, right here.
Oh, nice. Lovely. How are the boys doing? I didn't get to check it out. I mean, fantasy team-wise. Fuck me to go get a duck. So all that I wasted a transfer point now on Faf du Plessis now.
Wait, can you transfer?
No, it was a good board, mate.
That's
how
weird.
How often can you transfer?
So it's weird
because
so basically what me and Aditya and Emily actually had a stream before the day before, talking about this just randomly off air about how we're supposed to go about doing this, right? So I looked at it. I think there's 58 games is it 58 or 56 games in the group stages?
56 games in the league.
Yeah, there's 56 games in the group stage of the competition, and you get 110 transfers for that period, and then an extra 110 transfers only. So that means that you can't change per game. So I saw people picking only Mumbai players and only RCB players. Then they have to do a complete swap for the next game again. So they already use a full 22 transfers. So I think that you have to measure it and check it out and then see who's going to be playing when.
I'll do it by round. I'll do it by week. I'm not going to be fast. I've picked my team. I just probably need to get Quinny out because Chris Lynn started, but it's fine. Okay.
But the problem about it though, it doesn't work like Fantasy Premier League where it's by game week. It's by day. That's the only problem. So we'll see.
No, but the thing is, for me, I picked a squad for the full tournament. So that's my squad. That's what I'm keeping with. I'll change and stuff like that. But not too worried.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, let's get into it. First and foremost, let's talk about your boy, some of the debutants. First and foremost, I'm very disappointed that they didn't pick Alvarez. I think that's almost blasphemy in my eyes.
I'll tell you why. And it was largely because they didn't want to hamstring Heinrich Klaassen, So we had so many bowlers, and I feel as though Boucher and them forgot that Vian Libber can also bowl some off spin. Aiden Markram can bowl some off spin. We had 8 potential bowlers in the side, which is too much. And so if you've got those guys in the top 6 who can bowl, Vian Libber and Aiden Markram, you can drop. And I kind of felt that maybe Andile needed to sit out, but I understand why they played Andile, because they needed to give him games. They need to get his fitness up. Because they see him as an important feature in that World Cup. And so it kind of, like, there were so many bowlers, and I kind of sat there going, but this is too much. I was trying to figure out who's going to bowl where. And I was happy with the debutants. And if you talk about the 3 debutants, Sisanda's first over was horrible. You could see there was a lot of nerves and everything else. But he brought it back with that. He brought it back with that. He brought it back with that over of 5, which I was like, okay, fine. He's in rhythm. I would have wanted him to get another over again towards another over just after that, so he could solidify that 3, and you can leave one at the back end with Buren bowling, because Buren at the time was bowling well. The problem I had was when we got to over 16, when Buren needed to bowl 1 over. Oh, so Lazard bowled the 17th over. Buren didn't need to bowl that over. I would have given it to Sisanda, but I get you have to go to your experienced person, and it kind of shows you that Buren in the moments of pressure tends to struggle a little bit.
Yeah,
and that's
very
where
much
this game
so.
was lost. This game was lost in the crunch moments, and in T20 the crunch moments are on the back end. In the batting side, we lost wickets when we didn't need to, right? In the bowling side, that over 18 kind of swung things, because before then they needed 13 runs and over. After that, they just needed 11, and that's easy for them to manage. So that tells you what happened in that period. Even though the over before, he took two wickets and he was on a hat-trick ball. So I think for me, it's now trying to find guys with that mentality that can take in those last overs. Sisanda going for 11 was pretty decent on the back end, and you want to leave your guys 12, 11 runs per over to defend per over. I kind of felt that Buren we lost it there in that over, because if we had about, I don't know, 25, 26 to defend in those last 2 overs, I think we would have gotten over the line, because Lazard bowled pretty decently. Lazard, I think, was the best of our fast bowlers today, even though he didn't take as many wickets as Buren. But he was consistent across the 3 different phases. So it gives your team an option, your captain an option to say, I can bowl him at the front, I can bowl him in the middle, and I can bowl him at the death, because Lazard showed that high level, and that's what I like to see. Vian Libber, 4 and out. I was impressed. I was like, okay, he could do that. Then he went out. I was like, oh, but he'll get better. You want to give these guys an opportunity.
I hope they do, though. I hope they do. I hope they don't just see this performance and then not give him the next couple of games to show what he's capable of.
But then you've got guys on the back end like Miguel. You've got who else? Darren Dupavilon. You've got guys who also want a game. And so that's where Kyle. I think Kyle should come in. I think he should drop one of the quicks for Kyle and have a slightly larger batting lineup. And you kind of felt longer batting line, because you kind of felt that they were missing that other number 6 batsman, because at international level, George Linder is not. I wouldn't want him to bat at 6. I'm happy he can bat at 6, but it kind of felt like we had a slightly longer tail with Andile batting at 7, because Andile is yes, he scored a 50 in that final ODI, but today he came in and his strike rate in T20 isn't great, and that's the big problem with Andile. I'd rather have a Chris Morris whose strike rate is around about over 150 than have Andile, because his strike rate is closer to 120. And right now we need to pick guys who I'll take a Chris Morris, because he gives me just a little less than Andile, but he's still effective with the ball. But then with the bat, he gives me a lot more than Andile, and I'd rather have that. But obviously Chris is in the IPL, but maybe Miguel you could consider in that Andile role. But I'm saying take Andile out, put Calvarena in. Andile's already had four games this entire Pakistan series. He'll come back later. We've got 3 more T20s, but I'd like to see Kyle in that side and Vian Libber getting a little bit of ball, or even Aiden Markram getting a little bit of ball if we need a 6th bowler.
Yeah, you've got 5 specialist batsmen available to you. Play all 5. That should be from my point of view, that's what should happen. Aditya, I want to get your word now. Talk as much as you want to on this one. If you I don't know if you went to the press conference or not, but if you did, you can give us some insight into that as well. Whoa, are you frozen?
Oh, I think
He
so.
never ever freezes. That's weird.
Well, he's coming back.
good?
He's coming back slowly. We can
Coming
hear
back
you.
slowly. I can hear you.
Hi. Sorry.
No problem. It happens to all of us. Okay, okay. Go ahead, Aditya, if you can.
Okay, so you want me to talk about the presser or the game?
Yeah, you can talk. You can talk a
I didn't
little
hear
bit
you.
about the press. Yeah, you can talk a little bit about the presser if you want to, but I
Okay,
want to first hear
right.
your
So
thoughts on the game.
Hendrik Larsson was he was fairly relaxed at the end of the game, and he said that um, he attributed the loss mainly to the fact that Patron and Klaassen himself got out in quick succession, and had they not, they would have had a few more runs on the board, which would have been uh, a bit more defendable. Apart from a couple of overs, he thought that the bowling effort was generally fine, and he thought that generally through the course of the game plan that the management had set out for the team was for the most part followed. So he didn't seem to be particularly upset with the result of the game. But obviously, he said that there is opportunity to fine tune and improve our execution, which we will do. Personally, I watched the first innings of the game, and I was most impressed with the intent. I thought the way Yaneman Malan and Aiden batted against Shaheen Shafi, they took him apart. And I thought even what was most impressive was that after Malan got out and after when Libba got out, the tempo was the same. It didn't feel like they were going to consolidate for a few overs and then go and attack again. As soon as Klaassen was in, they were back to attacking the bowling again, which I thought was really impressive. Also, from the team that we picked yesterday, you and I, Khalid, I think 8 or 9 of those 11 players were in the team. So it was not as unlikely as we would have imagined. But yeah, overall, I think it was a decent game for the Proteas. I think Mohammad Rizwan is that one who's continually, stealing victories from the Proteas, and they need to find a way to bowl better to him. But overall, I don't think this was a particularly poor game. The urgency that they showed, the intent that was shown was pretty good. And I think with a few more games, it's a greater exposure. The bowlers will do well as well.
I have to give props to Aiden Markham in this game because the amount of stick he's been getting continuously throughout the ODI series, the way he was performing, to do it in a T20 match when you didn't expect to actually play in the first place, and then go ahead and score 50. It just shows something up there mentally. He is strong. It's just he needs to find that rhythm in ODI cricket just to take himself over the line. But I mean, an excellent performance from him, I have to say.
Look, it was, and he got a lot of bad balls and he put them away. I'm just not too sure where I put this performance from him, because when the pressure's on him, I don't know, but like today, I don't know if he didn't have pressure on him or whatever was going on, but he looked a lot different. And he was rotating the strike, which was completely different to what we were seeing in the ODIs when we wanted him to rotate the strike. I think I checked the dot ball percentage. It was around about 29% today, which is good.
I think it's just because
normally we get about, yeah.
I think it's purely just because he's learned from the other games that he's played now. Getting a prolonged game on the trot like that, playing consistently in the trot like that, giving him opportunity. You learn a lot over that period. And I think that's what happened over here. I think he also knows now, he knew his partner a lot better because he's now played a full game with him. He understands Yaneman Malan a lot better. But also because the pressure was on in this game more, I feel, than in the last ODI. I think the pressure was on him more here because it's a new format where he hasn't been back before. And he's now have to put up his hand and say, look, I can play this format.
In all honesty, he hasn't been great for the Titans in that CSA T20 challenge. He had 6 opportunities. He couldn't even get a score that was notable. And I'm happy that today he did. But I look at that pecking order, that top order for the Proteas. It's going to take a lot of these for him to get himself in there, because that's Timber's spot that he's occupying, and the other man's occupying Quinton's spot right now. And we have a big issue in India with Faf and AB looking to come into the side. And they probably will play the back-to-back World Cups. So the only time I do think that probably Aiden will play is possibly in the next T20 World Cup after next year's one. And I think he's missed an incredible opportunity to knock the door down at the CSA T20. I just felt it was too little too late. But for today, he did a job for his country, and I'm really proud of him, and I'm really happy for him, because you can see that he can bat at that high clip. He can push his strike rate higher. The question is, we want it more consistently. And if he can't do it against his own countrymen, yes, he did it against Pakistan in a world-class bowling attack, but now we need to ask for him to do a lot more. I don't want him to play the second game. I honestly do think we should try to get Kyle Verreynne in that side, maybe even open 100%. With Vian Libba, push Vian Libba up there, because Vian Libba's earned his spot in the side. He's shown us that he can bat at the top. If Vian Libba can come in at 3, Aiden Markham didn't need to play today. Kyle Verreynne could have played. And even Vian Mulder could have played, because Vian Mulder bats at 6 for the Lions, and you're looking for a number 6 to finish. Today's problem was we didn't have someone in the lower middle order who could finish the game, and so that's where my question is. It kind of feels to me as though there's some favorites in the side. One of them is Aiden, and we can see it, but it's at the detriment of other guys who've done well and who deserve a place in the side. And that was my apprehension watching his innings today, because I kind of felt that 51 pushes somebody like a Vian Mulder out a little bit out in the wilderness when Vian performed in that CSA T20. Because right now this is a CSA T20 11 essentially, and that's what it is. I understand he's a stylish cricketer and he's an amazing cricketer, but I honestly kind of felt that because he was a last minute entrant, I didn't think he'd be opening. But he did quite a good job with Yaneman. Yaneman's 31 up front was really good. He set the innings up. He kind of eased the pressure on the back end of that power play. And then also Heinrich Klaasen's 50 was expert. It shows that for me, the 6th batsman spot in that, the reserve batsman spot in that side is possibly between Heinrich Klaasen, and if AB de Villiers comes back, it might be a question of Heinrich Klaasen or they might actually take Heinrich Klaasen and Rassie van der Dussen, and then they'll try to figure out how they're going to fit all these guys in. But the problem is with the IPL guys, I kind of have a question of who in the top 6 is going to bowl, because you've got Timber, you've got Quinny, you've got AB, you've got Faf, you've got David Miller, and your 6th batsman might just be Rassie van der Dussen. So that's where the conundrum comes in, because this team's got an all-rounder, had a couple of all-rounders at the top. With Vian and Aiden. So it's much better for Heinrich Klaasen to rotate the team and rotate the bowlers. But when Timber's at the World Cup, I don't know what he's going to do. And so there were a lot of questions that I had today outside of the fact that they didn't manage those problems, those crunch moments well. Because that's, for me, it shows inexperience. You know, guys in the crunch moments, we lost. That's where we lost the game. They had an incredible. It was like the first time I'd ever seen South Africa score 111 overs in a while. In a very, very long time, we scored 111 overs. And I was really impressed. But then when you need to take it from 100 to 200, you fall 12 runs short. Those 12 runs cost you the game. And so for me, it's the inexperience. Guys will get better. I just hope it's not a blowout, because Pakistan look worldly. They look like world beaters. You can give them pretty much any side in the world right now, and they'll probably beat them. That top 4 is scary. Mohammad Hafeez batting at 4 says a lot about the quality of the Pakistan batting lineup, and the fact that they can pretty much chase anything if the track is correct.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say let's just wrap this up quickly. What I want to do is I want to say we got Aaron that just joined us now, so I'm going to bring Aaron on. Before we wrap it up, I just want to get this clown's.
What do you mean clown? Nonsense. Clown. What an introduction.
Welcome to the show, bro. Look here. Thank you for commenting in the comment section, giving us all that support. Thanks a lot for that. I just want to get your thoughts on the Proteas. I want your quick summary before we end off, because I think it will be a nice way to end off with my next question. But first and foremost, let's just get your thoughts. And then, Aditya, I want you to rebuttal.
Oh, okay, right. Well, in terms of the actual game itself, absolutely brilliant. Just want to put it out there as well. Pakistan and Mohammad Rizwan, absolutely sensational. Also, Mohammad Nawaz, what did he get? He got 3 for 21, didn't he, or something like that? He got 21. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. When both sides have gone around 9.5 runs and over.
Janaman Malan, the spin. Yes, I don't know why they don't just open with the spin against Janaman. He needs to sort that out. Really, he does. If he wants to get in that T20 side to England. Sorry for stopping in here, Aaron, but I just wanted to throw that in there. But continue.
Oh, no, I'd completely agree. And that's something that we've been discussing here on the channel, isn't it? About his ability to play spin. That could be to his detriment if he wants to get on that plane to India. But yeah, in terms of the game itself, I think we have to talk from a South African perspective. First of all, with the batting, Aiden Markram, fantastic. Thought Piet van Biljon as well. Some of his shots today, absolutely exceptional. They were having me on the edge of my seat. I was almost jumping up and celebrating. They're that good. I do like Piet van Biljon, for those who don't know.
But you celebrate for Ollie Stone and John Smuts and a lot of other players that people have problems against.
Hey,
so
Ollie Stone, who has a problem with Ollie Stone?
Just joking.
Hey, I support my players. Simple as that. And if that makes me deluded, okay, I don't care. But
that's why you are actually a cricket fanatic. You know, you're a cricket fanatic. Connoisseur, yes, but cricket fanatic as well at heart. You know, deep inside there.
100%. That's why I'm here on the channel, Khalid. Have been since 2019. But yeah, and then just final thoughts. Yeah, the death bowling again wasn't up to standard, unfortunately. That was not international standard death bowling. But with that being said, it comes back to the age-old argument of experience. And you can have all this experience in domestic cricket with your Hendrickses, your Magalas. I thought Lizard Williams really did actually stand up at the death. That York, you mentioned it right at the start of the show, Harley, was absolutely fantastic. But with regards to that death bowling, it was not good enough today. With that being said, with a guy like Sisanda Magala, okay, I don't think that was good enough of a performance from him personally at the end. But with that being said, it's his first game, and we know what he's capable of. He was absolutely brilliant for the Lions in the CSA T20 Challenge. And the fact is, he needs a run of games. You can't judge a guy off one game. You just can't do that. So it's not disastrous. Yes, it's disappointing. But with that being said, considering of all the major missions, you're missing 6 players from that 11, and you've taken it pretty much to the second last ball of the game. I think the Proteas, as disappointed as we should be as Proteas fans, they can also have a bit of pride and a bit of spirit after that game for taking it so close to the wire.
Do you want to rebuttal that, Aditya?
Yeah, I actually agree with most of what Aaron said. And what he said was essentially what we discussed before he came on. So there's not much that we can rebuttal there. But he's right. I hope that these guys get a bit of a run. And personally, one thing I wanted to say about Aiden was that today it looked like he had clarity in his head about how he wanted to go about his game. And that to me is the difference between what he did today versus what he did in the ODI series, or what he has been doing in ODI cricket. I don't know how well his role has been defined to him. In a press conference, he said that he was asked to be versatile. We don't know what that means specifically, but I think today he was just given the license to kill, and he did that well. I think Aiden, as a proactive cricketer, is a better striker of the white ball. But as I've said to you previously on the show as well, that I think Aiden Markram needs to follow Rohit Sharma's template if he really wants to bat big, because I think there are a lot of similarities in the talent and the way that they go about their games. Sorry.
I think no, but I agree with you, and I think you spoke about it the last time we had a review about the fact that he needs to find areas in his game where he can go get singles, and it's not like quick singles dropping and running. It's actually manipulating the field. He's got amazing drives, but he's got hard hands. There was a shot, oh my word. I was calling them Boucher shots on the thing because Boucher keeps on talking about these shots these guys he's teaching these guys. And Aiden made a lap sweep look so bad. He actually missed the ball early on in the innings. And I was like, what are you doing? And to a certain extent, I think maybe it's confusing him. It's befuddling him. I think we need to try and get guys to play their natural games. And if they do, as Khalid always says, if they do, they'll be fine. But obviously, if Aiden needs to go back and probably learn how to play on slow wickets, nudging and nurdling the ball, cutting, and because you look at Rizwan, you look at Baba Azam. If runs aren't coming, or boundaries aren't coming, they're rotating the strike, and that's what we want from him, especially in limited overs cricket. His cover drives are probably are the second best after Laura Volfart. I just need him. I can't wait. You can't just sit there waiting for the bad ball and trying to hit it to the boundary all the time. You need to try and that's what got Mohammad Nawaz in the game. We allowed Mohammad Nawaz to bowl 3 overs in the power play without even getting punished. That for me is an indictment on the fact that we could have actually gotten those 12 runs in those first 6 overs if somebody decided to put pressure on him by rotating the strike, by doing something different. But our cricketers don't necessarily have that right now, and that's why another question is maybe we should go get a batting coach. But I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the last question I want to ask, and I don't want to go too long on the explanations. All I want to know is who goes out in the next match and who comes in. I'm going to start first. I'm going to say that I would like to see Andile get the rest in this particular next game. I want to see Calvarena back in. I want to see Bjorn Hendricks out, and I want to see maybe someone like Michael Pretorius come back in. We know enough about Bjorn's game. He's consistent in the way he bowls. He bowls very well with up front, and he has been struggling with the death bowling. We need to get some rhythm. He needs to do it more often. But just because we know what Bjorn offers, I feel I want to see Michael Pretorius get an opportunity because he can also hold the bat a bit. And maybe let Shamsi rest a bit, take him out to the side. And I want to see someone like Bjorn Fortuin back into the lineup and give him an opportunity as well at the Wanderers. Okay, let's go with Aaron first, Aditya, and then Mpho can wrap up.
Well, to be honest, Khalid, I'd pretty much agree with you. I think for the time being, I'd probably personally just keep with Shamsi just for another game. But just one question with regards to Klaasen: is he fit or not for the next T20?
What did they say in the press conference? Aditya, did they mention anything about that?
No indication of it. No.
Yeah,
he seems fine.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
he kept 420 overs, so it should be okay.
Should be fine.
Okay, right, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it then, to be honest, from my end. Looking forward to seeing Calvarena back in a Proteas shirt, though. As always, he's a brilliant keeper batsman. And yeah, we all know what a gun batsman is. I think it was Alan Wilkins on commentary today. Didn't he say how surprised he was to not see Calvarena? I certainly was. I was absolutely baffled as to how he wasn't in the team, but hopefully he will be on Monday.
I think we get a different commentary team, don't we?
We don't have Alan Wilkins this time.
Yeah, we don't get that bushy stuff here. Aditya, your turn.
Yes, I agree with you. I'd like to see Calvarena I'd like to see Miguel Pretorius in there as well, and also Bjorn Fortuin. And I'd like to see Bjorn Fortuin open the bowling. That to me, I thought that was an interesting move, tried in Pakistan, and should probably go for it again. Conditions permitting, of course.
Yeah.
And if you can bowl John Smart for so many overs in an ODI, you can bowl Vian Libber. Like, I mean, come on, give him some overs.
Definitely.
Mpho?
How do you guys want to split your spinners? Do you want to give 2 at the Wanderers, or do you want to give Linda the one game, Bjorn the other game, and then you'll do the same for the other 2? Is that what you guys are saying?
I'm not dropping George. I want to see George in at number 6 a little bit more because I think that's something we'll play in India if we're going to play 3 spinners. Or 2
so do you want to play 3 spinners in the next game at the Wanderers, or is Shamsi getting dropped?
I'm dropping Shamsi and bringing in Bjorn Fortuin.
Wow, the number 1 bowler in the world.
No, not because he's not good enough. It's not because of that. Me and Aditya spoke about it. We want to see guys get an opportunity. That's it. Plain and simple about that. That's the only reason.
But the thing is, we're not. Okay, I think my thing is I'm keeping Shamsi win a World Cup year. It's not about guys getting opportunities. It's about those final spots in the squad. Bjorn, obviously it's between Bjorn and Linda, so they're gonna split the series 2 and 2. So or you give
George a rest. But I don't think George played enough. I think he needs a little bit more time. You can't just play a guy once and then.
No. So that's what I'm saying.
If this particular series is about, because we don't have our full 11. If this series is about giving people opportunities, then give people opportunities. That's my point. It's not. We know that Shams is number 1 in the world. We know what Shamsi brings. He was the pick of one of the pick of the bowlers.
If you want to win these games or not. If you don't want to win these games, then yes, give Bjorn 14.
Do you want to win these games?
Where are we going to get our
games? If you want to win these games, then pick Calvarena.
Well,
obviously,
yes,
clearly they're not
I'm
thinking
not
like
fighting with you. I would have picked Calvarena at the start of the game.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is from because this is where Bach is stuck, right? He needs to find a way to get enough wickets to win a match, and Shamsi presents that great opportunity for you to take wickets at regular intervals and also bowl very economically for who he is, right? And so you've got that lock and that leader of the attack, and then you put in our youngsters around him. But the question I'm saying is, I need to give Linda 2 games, and I need to give 14 2 games, and Shamsi in as the thing. You can actually possibly play 3 spinners. You can play 3 spinners, but I'm not sure whether 12 overs of spin at the Wanderers is conducive to you winning a T20 match, or even at Centurion. So that's where the conundrum is. If we were in Durban, and let's say this bubble was in Durban, I'd be like, by all means, give me Linda, give me Shamsi, and give me 14, but we're not there. So that's where my apprehension comes in. I'd like to do a 1-1. So give Linda 1, he's already played. Give Thingy 1 again. Drop Andile. Bring in either Vian or Miguel, depending on how you want to do this, because Andile's played 4 games. He needs a break. He might come in for the final T20 if it's still there, if it's still available. Or just let Vian take the 3, because Andile wasn't supposed to be in the squad in the first place. I can see that we're trying to find experienced Proteas to fill the lineup. Aiden will get another game, so we need to find a way to bring in another player. I want Vian Libert to play, but I think you might find a situation. So I'd say, I know Aiden will get another game, but I would drop Aiden, push Vian Libert to open like he can do and what he was brought in to do. Because if he's going to bat at 3, he's an opener. So play Vian Libert at 2 with Yanaman, left-right combination, bring in Calvarena into that middle order. And obviously, depending on whether Rassi's fit or not, if Rassi's fit, Pite van Biljon comes out, Rassi comes in to solidify that top order. And essentially, that's what it is. From a bowling perspective, you can swap Miguel for Bjorn Hendricks, but then you have an inexperienced pace attack with Magala, Lizard, and Miguel. It might work, it might not, but I think we should just throw it at them at the Wanderers, because I think Miguel would want to bowl at the Wanderers much more than bowling at Centurion, even though I think he should also get the final 3 games. But yeah, for me, that is what I do. And then you just have to swap your spinners around.
Okay, guys, thanks. That's all we have for today. Thanks a lot for everybody for tuning in. Thanks a lot for the panelists for coming on. Paul, thanks a lot for you for always giving great insight, and Aaron as well. And Aditya for always making me laugh and smile and stuff. And this about your insight of the game is excellent. Your fan opinions are great. So thanks a lot also to Aaron. You give it a whole different perspective from a different point of view, which I like. And your positivity is amazing as well. So thanks a lot.
Khalid, can I just say one more thing before we go?
Yes, you can.
Abraham Benjamin de Villiers, absolute legend. That's all I have to say. That knock last night, that 48 against Mumbai Indians in the IPL, for those who don't know, massive RCB fan, absolutely magnificent.
It was a good knock. It was a very good knock.
This man has made my weekend. I am still buzzing after that. That's why I'm in a pretty good mood, to be honest, because of that absolute masterclass. And Marco Janssen. Let's just give a quick shout out to his death bowling as well. What a game that was. And
that's going to be interesting.
RCB.
That's going to be interesting, Marco Janssen.
Mm-hmm.
If he has a great IPL, what is South Africa going to do? That's going to be very interesting.
It's what I said in the piece, mate. It's what I said on my piece.
Yep.
Read it, everyone.
He's probably going to sit out of the World Cup squad.
Yeah, go read Aditya's piece, please, guys.
Okay.
It's a nice preview of the whole tournament. He gave a nice understanding of all of the players as well. And he also did a great roundup of last night's game. So if he performs well, I mean, he's a left armer. He can bat a bit as well. It's variation they've been looking for. He's ridiculously tall.
Big fella, isn't he?
And don't forget that he has a twin brother that is equally as good.
Oh, yes,
I'm telling you guys, Dwan is equally as good. He just needs some time because he was injured for long. He didn't get the time in the middle. He's equally as good. I'm very interested to see what he's going to do for Northwest.
He's a net bowler at Mumbai this year. It looks like he's been he's been recruited as a net bowler for Mumbai this year.
Wow.
So in reality, both Duan and Marco are in India right now.
Wow, unbelievable. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot to all the fans. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for all future videos. We will give you a podcast show tomorrow evening, which will combine with our preview show for the next game. We'll kind of touch on that. I would love you guys to come on, Aaron, as well, because that's what our show when we sit back, relax, and just talk about everything. It doesn't necessarily only have to be about cricket.
Do you have 10 hours?
Yeah, bro, as long as you want. That's our late night show. You can say whatever you want over there and chill back and kick back. Aditya, I know it's a bit late for you, but if you can come on for 5-10 minutes, that will be great as well from your point of view. And Paul as well, you're always welcome. Yeah. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again soon. Take care, everybody.
Cheers.